Hi, everyone. Gosh, that was so nice. Thank you, Andrew. My name is Osamede Ogbomo. I am so excited to be here today. One, because I'm back home in Georgia from Princeton, and I get to be with my amazing family. But two, because I get to share a little bit about social connection, which has become one of my deepest passions over the last few years. So 5 years ago, I was a sophomore at Marietta High School, and that's where we got started with establishing Whisper. It was incredible. It blew up. 3 years ago, I was a senior in high school, just standing on the stage doing what Avery just did and sharing about my experience with Whisper, and it was fantastic. At that point, things were up in the air. I did not know where I was going to end up. I didn't even know what college I'd be attending when I was giving that talk, and I couldn't have expected how much of a blessing these last 3 years have been. It's really been incredible. I went to Princeton, and I developed a love for political philosophy, and I made friends in unlikely places, and I started working on a startup recently, which has been really cool. But one of the coolest things I did when I went to Princeton was I joined the debate team. Now, when I went to college, I had zero debate experience. Marietta High School didn't have a debate team when I was a student. So I saw the flyer during my freshman year, and I thought, I'll try out, I'll give it a shot. So I do, and I made the team. Fast forward to the beginning of this school year, all of those experiences culminated into one of the most scary, stress-inducing points in my life when I debated against the world debate champion, the international collegiate champion. So I find out that I'm going to debate this person. I'm freaking out, one, because they're the world champion, two, because I was going to be debating in front of an audience of my peers who would be determining the winner. And the topic of the debate was that we were going to be talking about the social culture at Princeton and kind of the state of affairs. So I'm freaking out. So we prepare for this debate. We get the topic a few days before. And my opponent, who's the world champ, she does what she knows to do, what she's been trained to do. She's laying out arguments. She's preempting, extending, doing all the cool things. She was very technical and precise. I was not international debate level, so I was like, okay, what do I know how to do? I think I know how to connect with people. And since my peers are going to be the ones that are judging this debate and not formal judges, maybe I have a chance in not fully embarrassing myself. So I spend the days leading up to the debate talking to anyone who will listen to me. I'm in class, before, after class, in the libraries, in the dining halls, tell me about your experience. What has your experience been at Princeton? What have you gone through? What are your joys and your pains and your frustrations? Just tell me everything. And I was hearing all of these incredible stories from other students at Princeton. They were sharing with me. People were crying to me, just opening up. It was really, really fascinating. And in talking to people, I came to recognize that fundamentally, we all just want human connection. We all want to be seen, heard. We want to feel loved. We want to feel that there are other people that are there for us. Princeton students, they want success and wealth and ambition, but more importantly, they want someone to share that with. And so once I understood that, I understood the heart of the issue, and I knew what I thought I could say to kind of make people feel seen in the debate. So the day of the debate arrives, and the room is set up to where I'm on one side and my opponent's on the other side of the room, and we're in this chamber where all the students are sitting in between us. And as the debate was going on, we're giving our arguments and our counter-arguments, and the structure was such that if you agree with what someone's saying, you stand up and you sit on their side. So we're giving our arguments, and live, this is happening, we're debating, and I see one student stand up and move over to my side, and then I see another student stand up and move over to my side, and by the end of the debate, about 85%, 90% of the room was on my side, against the world champ. So that was a proud accomplishment. It was top-tier experience at Princeton. So why am I sharing this with you? Not just to brag. I'm sharing this because I didn't win the debate because I'm a world champion debater. I didn't win because I impressed them. I didn't win because I said what they wanted to hear. I won because I really took the time to understand how my fellow students felt, and I really took the time to make sure that they felt seen and heard. I took the time to make sure that they felt like they were connected with. And in the weeks following the debate, there were so many students that came up to me oh, I was there and I saw you, and I feel like you were just talking right at me. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it really affected me. It was a really beautiful moment. Now, often in our day-to-day conversations, we treat them like debates. Like, we like to argue with people. We want people to agree with us. We want people to defer to us. Sometimes we want to win in some way. But effective conversation and intentional listening works such that you and your interlocutor are creating the conditions where you're reaching some level of truth that transcends your individual interests. Conversations are important. They help you in your workplace, in school, with your friends and family, but they also help to reverse the detrimental and destructive effects of social isolation. So one of the other academic disciplines I've fallen really deeply in love with in my time at Princeton has been neuroscience. And understanding the neurological underpinnings behind social connection has really helped me to understand why whisper is so important. There are two chemicals in the brain. They're colloquially called the love hormones, oxytocin and vasopressin. And what they do is they help to foster deeper connections between people. So they work in concert with dopamine to flood your brain with feelings of pleasure when you're interacting and engaging with someone else. Now, conversely, when you are socially isolated, it triggers your stress response. So your cortisol levels are elevated. It alters your brain structure. It inhibits the creation of new neurons. It disrupts your neurochemical balance. And it creates things like mental health issues, depression, anxiety. But it also affects your physical health by undermining and compromising your immune system. So conversations are important, not just for your psychological and emotional well-being, but also just for the way that your entire body functions and how you operate and integrate and engage with other people. So, okay, conversations are great, good to talk to people, good for your health. Why whisper, right? Why have an outside organization come tell kids to do that? Well, talking to people, it might feel like a normal day-to-day endeavor, but in reality, the types of conversations, the type of social sophistication that it takes to engage meaningfully with other people, that takes skill, it takes practice, it takes time. A lot of middle and high schoolers don't have that. I know this firsthand. I have friends at Princeton who are brilliant. Like, they're disproving Albert Einstein's theories. They're at the cutting edge of like AI technology. And then we go to Starbucks and they can't even make eye contact with the barista. Like they just don't even have that level. They haven't built up the muscle of social interactions, of engaging with other people. And that's what Whisper does, is it creates a space, it creates a forum for you to practice being vulnerable, for you to practice displaying empathy, for you to practice talking to other people. Conversation, it's not just an action or a behavior, it's a skill, and it's one that's essential for human flourishing. So as I stand here before you tonight, I reflect not only on my journey from a sophomore in high school to now a junior at Princeton, but I reflect on the essence of what Whisper aims to cultivate in every single teenager that engages with it. Whisper is not just an organization. Whisper, it's a lifeline for those teetering on the edge of social isolation. It's a beacon of hope for those who are seeking a sense of belonging in a world that's increasingly and overwhelmingly disconnected. When I won that debate against the world champion, I learned that the victory was not in winning. The victory was in bridging the gap between me and my peers. The victory was in learning to understand and address our fundamental need for human connection. And that's what Whisper is about. At the heart of Whisper lies this opportunity for us to turn moments of listening into truly understanding, to turn vulnerability into strength, to turn conversations into spaces where it can reflect the reality of our shared humanity. So, as I stand here before you, I want you guys to know that right now you have an opportunity to support something that's really transforming lives. Whisper is changing students from the inside out. It's creating a new culture, a new system, a new culture where people feel connected with one another. I want you to know that Whisper is going to minimize depression, minimize anxiety, and that we're creating opportunities for transformation. With your support, we can create a world where every single teenager feels seen and heard, and most importantly, loved. Thank you.